Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 2023 Leading Entrepreneurs of the World Conference. I'm your host, Melissa Ashley, a member of One Business World. Leading Entrepreneurs of the World represents the intersection of passion, innovation, determination, and serves as a powerhouse for groundbreaking ideas and leadership in action. Our mission is to ignite a global movement of entrepreneurial excellence, elevating business and entrepreneurial leaders who possess not just business expertise, but the vision and resilience to navigate unprecedented challenges. Leading Entrepreneurs of the World showcases the luminaries who are shaping the future across various industries, act as catalysts for change, and are a testament to the synergistic power of collective leadership. And today we welcome the co-founders of JustPaid, CEO Daniel Kivatinos and CPO and engineer Vinay Pinnaka. And they're joining us today to talk about how to utilize AI for small businesses. Welcome, Daniel and Vinay. It's so nice to have you sharing your expertise with us today. Thank you.
Started the company 7 months ago. Since that time, we've really sped as fast as possible building the company and understanding AI technology in particular to understand how we can make change in the world. One of the biggest problems in the world today that we are seeing is a lack of people in the workforce. Specifically in the accounting space, there's been a reduction in force over the last several years, and there's more of a demand than ever that has been happening. What Vinay and I and our other co-founder, Analia, have been tackling is how do we actually create something that's scalable for the world that allows there to be less, I would call it mundane work, that allows the accounting workforce that's out there to do their job more effectively. When you think about our company, I ran another startup before this startup, and it was a hugely successful startup. And I saw a lot of the stress that our financial team was under. When you're running a business, you want to understand all of the metrics that are happening in real time. If you ask a question like, what is my burn rate? Or if you want to understand what else is happening in your business, like how many sales have happened just today, generally that comes in like a snapshot once a month from your accountant. Vinay and the engineering team that's under Vinay has been deeply looking into all the AI technology that's out there. And Vinay's going to talk more about this. How do we actually understand all of the data sources of a business and basically create an AI assistant that can help a business run more effectively? And that comes, there's many parts of this. There's taxes, there's sales contracts, there's revenue, there's burn rate, there's all of these other metrics that an AI assistant can help with. And we're really tackling just a specific vertical because it's such a large problem. You have to start in one specific area. From there, I think one interesting thing that we're seeing is there's a lot of different genres also of AI that are coming out. AI voice assistants, there's different AI to allow like people that are lonely and psychological settings. There's AI to help like self-driving cars. So, the industry is just, I would say, like probably budding more than I've ever seen. It's almost like a renaissance that's happening all over the world in like investment happening in the AI space. And, I would say you build on the backs of the greats, meaning like, the larger companies out there are investing billions and billions of dollars into this space. And Vinay and the team are really looking at all of these technologies. An example would be like if you look at AWS. AWS was created by Amazon. And because AWS is there and it runs servers, you don't need to buy your own server now and install it into a server rack and have an air conditioner and have a DevOps guy specifically like looking at every piece of it. Now we're able to abstract the startup at a higher level. And I see a lot of these technologies almost like an AWS where they're investing, billions of dollars into understanding like how does it work. But with that, AI doesn't see everything. AI doesn't have all the data. So we're really, tackling that specific problem of gathering that data in as many financial sources as possible to create that AI assistant that helps either accountants or executives or startup leaders around the world.
I'd like to take small businesses. I know running a business is always hard. Billing your customers, paying bills should not be that hard. You have to build solutions that can actually help you with all this financial tech stack. You can focus more time on your customers, help build better product, and give a better service to your customers. That's where JustPaid comes in. JustPaid is trying to use a lot of enhancements in generative AI to make sure the mundane, the laborious tasks like manually entering the details about your customer, entering your invoice information, adding contract information, adding service items, and also going through the painful process of reading through the contractual agreements and adding the price associated to that particular customer and send an invoice to them and then get the information from it. It usually takes a person anywhere between like 30 minutes to 1 hour to just send an invoice with the contractual information. What we are doing at JustPaid is we are using AI to, we are leveraging AI to read through the contracts, get the information like who is the customer, what are their details, what is the contact information, and then also reading through the contractual agreement, understanding what are the services that are provided for this particular customer, getting those services, and also understanding what is the price, contractual agreement price that is set up in that contract, reading through that and extracting that information and putting it in a structured format into our system. So the process looks like this. Once the sales representative closes the deal, they will upload a PDF document of their contract, just forward that PDF document to JustPaid's custom email address that is assigned to you while onboarding. And our AI's job will kicks up in the background. It will read through the contract and create a customer, create your subscription, create your plans, and nicely summarizes that information into a structured format. You will get an email once the contract is ready for your review. You just go into JustPaid app platform and review the details that are extracted by our system, and you accept it. That's not it. You have the structured information of contract. The next steps are how to bill your customer, how to send that invoice to your customer. That's where our AI is smart enough to do that as well. You have a button or an action that you can say, hey, generate invoice from this contract. You just click that, it will create a summary of this invoice with all these line items, with the corresponding price associated to it, with a preview of that invoice document, and with your bank details in it. If you are satisfied with all those details, just send the invoice and it lands in the customer's inbox, and they can pay through our own payment rails and add their bank account details and schedule it on the due date, or they can actually pay through their own payment solution, either through bank transfer or credit or ACH transfer. What are the payment methods that they prefer? They can actually do it on their own. This is one part of the things, which is collecting money from your customers. On the other hand, when you are paying bills to your vendors, it could be a vendor could be a restaurant owner, paying bills to the grocery service, or a plumber paying service to their service provider. For all those vendors, there will be a contractual agreement as well, which people rely upon to pay bills. And so whenever there is invoice that comes in, the user tends to look at their invoice details and actually verify those details with the contractual agreement and see, okay, for this particular service, according to our contract, it agreed to be like $10,000. So if there is any overcharge or if there is any adjustments, you will automatically ask the questions to that particular vendor, say, hey, you might have overbilled me, or what are the charges that is not there in the contractual agreement. This is definitely a manual process. Any founder, any business owner has to go through. We are helping in that process as well with our AI solution. Our AI system will read through those vendor contracts as well, and whenever a bill comes in to your system, and when you upload that bill to JustPaid, we automatically verify that bill with all the services in the contract, make sure the price associated in that bill is qualified in the contract. It is in the agreed upon limits. If there are any billing errors, if there is any overcharges on the bill, we will notify you so that you are aware of it, and you will take a conversation. You will have a conversation with your vendor to make sure you pay only the agreed upon terms. This will save a lot of dollars, especially when you are dealing with uh, uh, larger vendors who actually deal with manual billing systems, and they do not have any automated systems. So human errors will cause this overcharges. If you overlook these overcharges, it might hurt your business. That's the reason why JustPaid is here to help you. Um, in addition to this contractual agreement, invoice generation and validation of bills, we also want to give the numbers, the financial numbers to founders or the business owners immediately, right away in our dashboard. Because without understanding your financial metrics, it will be very hard to run your business. If you want to make a decision whether I can hire a new person for this particular service, or can I actually increase my sales, or can I spend more money on marketing? These are the questions that any founder, any business owner makes. It will be very hard to make those decisions if you don't know what's your revenue numbers, like how long our system, our company lasts, or if I actually spend 10 grand on a particular service, how it will affect my run rate, and how is my revenue doing? Do I expect more revenue in the coming months, or is my revenue going to drop? How are my customers doing? Do I have a high churn rate compared to last year? All these metrics are readily available in JustPaid dashboard, so that founders or business owners feel confident to make decisions like hiring, or adding a new service, or spending a little more on marketing, or actually going to events and establishing your brand. All this can be made on your fingertips. And we are, as Daniel mentioned before, we put a natural language interface, just like ChatGPT. People are awestruck with ChatGPT when it rolled out. It feels like a person sitting on the other hand and giving you answers. We want to bring the same experience to founders and business owners about their financial data. That's why we have built JustPaid AI chatbot, which actually understands your company needs, understands your company financial metrics, knows who your customers are, what invoices, what is the amount that you invoice, and it will give you perfect answers, just like an accountant sitting on the other hand giving you answers. Um, with that, I would like to pass it on back to Daniel to talk more about how we are doing so far, and what are the things that we are more excited about.
One thing that Vinay kind of glossed over was small business owners generally don't have finance teams. So there's something called fp&a. There's something called a controller. Generally, small businesses usually have an accountant. They have like staff assistants. But the thing is, we're looking to democratize what larger companies have and give that to smaller businesses, allowing them to have like a digital assistant. So, if you watched Facebook's announcement over the last week, they actually announced they have these like AI bots that are available to help you like with recipes and to talk to you and to give you insights, like if you're traveling. It's like having a tour guide. It's like having like a personal chef give you advice. We're looking to do that specifically in the finance space. So in a sense, every small business in the world at some point will have AI assistants. And you're going to see companies really relying on these AI bots to run their businesses appropriately. Today it's all people driven. And if you're lucky enough to be successful enough to have those people. And, you're going to say, if you're a small business that I would say is just starting out, you're going to say, I don't need that. But as you get more and more customers, your company becomes more complex. Your inventory gets more complex. Like the cash flow gets more complex. And at some point, you're going to hire an accountant. And then at some point you may hire a controller. You may hire, people to collect the revenue that you have. So you're going to have all of these people. And the world is really changing. Like a mundane task of collecting revenue, it may go away. Meaning like there's a lot of these, they call you and they say, hey, you didn't pay your bill. We're just following up just as a reminder. Those types of jobs are, they're going to find other opportunities. I don't think those types of jobs those people are going to not find jobs. I think they're going to find other types of jobs that are going to be around that. But the goal is to enable every small business in the United States and the world to have this AI assistant that's really going to assist them just with like their needs. And an example is like, hey, I made a sale. I need to charge the credit card. What do I do? You could literally type that into your AI financial assistant and they will say, no problem, send me the contract. And then you send them the contract and say, hey, this person signed up for 3 years and we're going to be, getting this much revenue from them. You don't need to say any of that. If you sign an agreement with that person, you literally can hand it off to your assistant and they can charge that for you. Transactions are going to happen so much at a faster rate. You're going to see so much more happening in the world. You already see a lot of this, like less friction with payments for products, right? So there's Apple Pay and there's Google Pay and there's all these other ways to pay now. I think you're going to see a lot more happen in the world of like these AI bots that are going to basically take over some of the workload of what people do. I mean, in a more successful company, and what I mean by that is like small businesses have like less than 5 million in revenue, but the larger businesses, they have huge staffs and they spend huge amounts of money on these like divisions of teams to actually like collect all this like from all of these customers, all of this revenue. It's burdensome. And having a bot allows the smaller businesses to become more successful than ever before. So, as you're saying to yourself, should I start a business? Should I not start a business? It's, there's organizations like Y Combinator that allow you to get funding. They look at those teams, but there's, now going to be these AI assistants to help you either get started with like incorporating your company, giving you, Q&A questions about that. There's going to be assistants allowing you to get your revenue. Others like legal AI assistants are going to help you with your business. So a lot of this stuff is coming out so fast. You're going to see a lot of changes in the way that people run their business. And even in the legal space, you're going to see changes there where, lawyers do a lot for you, but you're going to be surprised at what these AI assistants are going to be able to do for you like going forward. And an example of that is probably, I'll give you an example, NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. It's, you meet someone and you agree that you're not going to disclose this information that you learn. AI assistants may be able to draft those documents within like fractions of a second. If you say, hey, there's someone coming by my office and I'm working on this new thing and I don't want to tell anyone about it yet, but this person wants to come in and we might do business together. This legal bot will literally draft a document for you, hand it to you and say, okay, this is basically ready to sign. Again, you're going to need probably your lawyer to do a quick read through of it, but it's going to save you enormous amounts of time not having the lawyer draft it specifically for you. And that applies to, what we're doing. So we're going to save teams a lot of time by helping them close deals, sign contracts, and get the revenue in the door by helping you with that AI assistant. And we're really in I would say the first inning of this because it's moving so fast. There's so much investment happening out there. We were just invested in it as a company. So we're really looking deeply into this where we have investors and they've given us millions of dollars and we are looking at the technology now, understanding what's going to work best for us to support all of these people out there.
AI is definitely changing a lot of jobs. I also want to clarify one more misconception most people have, which is AI is taking away all of our jobs. We are jobless. This is not good for the society. People have these misconceptions. I would like to clarify that. I would like to ask a question, how many times a founder or a person is feeling like I'm not spending much time with my family, or as doing this repetitive task multiple times, should I hire a new person for this? Or maybe they are taking too much time to wrap up a particular task. All of this is, it feels like you want to have some assistant with you to actually handle this type of stuff. That's where the AI is coming in, and that is actually helping you with making you super productive and giving you back time so that you can use that time to spend it with your valuable people, with valuable things. Um, so I wouldn't say like AI is taking away jobs. I would say it is creating jobs and making you super productive.
There's so much about AI. I think I'm going to ask the one question I'm guessing a lot of people are curious about is the training behind the bots. Is how do you get confidence that the bots are sufficiently trained? And I know you mentioned that you'd still need a lawyer to overlook something, or you still need to. But I guess I wonder. I mean, in this analogy, maybe too mundane, but it's almost going from courier service to fax, right? How are you confident that the information is being transmitted correctly? And I think that probably took a little while, right? And it took a generational shift. So how do you see that working with AI?
Back when like internet came in and the cloud technologies came in, like businesses were able to start things very easily, and they were able to process payments on the cloud. They were able to market their businesses on the cloud, on the internet, and actually do not own anything but actually pay for the service and get the service delivered. It took some time for the businesses to wrap up that type of thing, but with AI, it is also the same. It will take some time, but it is, since we have all the technologies and all the services that we're already using, AI is just a layer on top of it. It is naturally built into our existing workflows. Let's say without this generative AI technologies, Google is already using AI for giving you test results and actually using AI for marketing your businesses to the right customers. So it is just, you didn't realize that this is happening with AI, but you will eventually, the businesses will eventually get to that point. They do not realize that they have an assistant who is actually, AI assistant who is actually giving this response. At some point, people will get to that level. They cannot work with this assistant. And also, to add this question, like how these models are trained, how accurate these models are, that's a very good question. AI is as good as a human, or not even as good as human, but maybe 10% as good as human. But that all depends upon the data that is given to the AI assistant. So how valuable the information that you are providing to this AI assistant, it will able to replicate that and give you the answers in that manner. So there are many companies that are giving the baseline architecture or baseline AI assistants, but ultimately it's people who have data about you, your business, your financial workflow. They are the ones who will be able to create accurate models, accurate assistants that help you in your day-to-day life.
Gotcha. So garbage in, garbage out still applies.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Well, thank you both. This was certainly interesting and really a little thought-provoking. I think, Daniel, I appreciate your sort of sharing the larger world view, and then Vinay talking a little bit about how JustPaid can help solve for that challenge. So we really appreciate your time today, and thank you so much for being part of the Leading Entrepreneurs of the World Conference.